Welcome to Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. We're joined today by the mayor of Glendora. His name is Gary Boyer. I must tell you, sir, when I get off the freeway at Grand and I loop around and I land on Grand Avenue, I think it is, and I look up and I see the foothills of Glendora, I realize that God is shining on Glendora. What a beautiful view that is, and what a beautiful city you have.
Well, it's one of the reasons Glendora is considered pride of the foothills.
It is. It's just phenomenal.
And there's so many different areas that you have that opportunity when you're sitting somewhere and you have the opportunity to look up at the foothills and you see them. And especially this year, we have green this year.
Right.
You know, a few years ago we had the Colby fire that devastated some of the neighborhoods up there. But now with some of the rain and everything, the green is coming back, our Brodia's in bloom, so there's a lot of neat things happening up there.
And on top of that, the historic Route 66 right through Glendora with some great restaurants. The Village, I go there, with some wonderful restaurants, so walkable.
Well, one of the things people don't realize is Route 66, you know, goes from Los Angeles to Chicago.
Right.
Well, Glendora is one of the only places in the entire country that it is still called Route 66.
Right.
It was a decision that we made a number of years ago to change the name of that street from Alasta to Route 66. But now today, that's ours. We take pride in the fact that Route 66 goes right through our city.
And the reason I bring this up is I have come to learn that the importance of sales tax revenue to a city, especially a mid-sized city like Glendora, is so dramatic that in this time of Amazon.com, and don't mean to cast aspersions, but you know, retail is not as profitable, and so you're not seeing as much sales tax revenue, but restaurants are, and so there are a lot of great options in Glendora.
Well, one of the things that happened, people don't realize sales tax is the second largest revenue source for a city like Glendora.
What's the first?
Property tax.
Property, of course.
So property tax and then sales tax, and then we're getting into a lot of other things, but those are the two big sources of income. And even though we get a very small percentage of the sales tax that comes in.
Is it 1 cent per dollar?
Yeah, we get one. And so, but we get a little bit of a lot.
Right.
Because there's a lot of different things that are taxed, and nobody wants to pay more taxes. But the fact is, if we think about the way we shop and the way we do business, we can help to increase revenue at a city our size substantially without raising taxes.
When we talk about buying locally, there's a reason we're saying that, and not to create competition, but in the final analysis, if you live in Glendora and you want to see better streets, better lighting, you want to see more development, whatever it is, well, sales tax is critical.
Here's something to think about. We get in our car, we decide to go somewhere.
Right.
Okay. Well, we need some gas, so we stop and we fill up at gas by the freeway or somewhere on the way. If everybody in the city of Glendora, I did some numbers, and these are rough.
I like
but
this
if
stuff.
everybody in the city of Glendora, if we think about every household has 2 cars, and if every car fills up twice a month, if everybody that had a car in the city of Glendora just bought gas in the city, it would increase our sales tax revenue to the city by $200,000.
That's real money.
That's huge. But we don't not buy gas in Glendora because we don't want to shop there. You buy it because it's convenient. Yeah. And so if people would think about that, think about there's a reason to stop and get your gas before you drive to the beach. I understand going to the beach and spending your day there and having a good time.
Right.
But stop and fill your tank up before you leave town, and then fill it up again when you get back.
But the question becomes, and I hinted at this, we do know that retail, brick and mortar, is struggling a bit because of online buying. And so the wave of the future does seem to be eateries, restaurants. Is Glendora looking towards that because still get great sales tax out of restaurants?
Well, I got to tell you, one of the things that, if you think about going out to eat in the San Gabriel Valley, I doubt if there's anybody watching this that says, you know, hey, let's go to dinner tonight. Let's drive to Glendora.
But the Village.
The
Village is great.
You know, there's other communities that might think about they're going to go to.
Pasadena.
But we have 108 restaurants in the city of Glendora. The San Gabriel Valley Tribune just did, they do their Reader's Choice Awards. In Glendora, we had 10 restaurants win out of 34 categories.
Fantastic.
10 restaurants win out of 34 categories, and the Tribune covers 36 different cities.
Wow.
So when you think about that, we should have won 1, okay, within the city, but we actually won 10 of them. Our coffee shops, we actually had Classic Coffee in Kara's Corner that are downtown in the village, almost right across the street from each other. They came in first and second place in that Reader's Choice Award.
I hate to plug, but I'm just going to do this. There's this restaurant, Irene's, which is in the village. It's Greek. They actually, I think they've patented their cake. What's that cake that they patented?
Their baklava cheesecake.
Baklava cheesecake.
Baklava
I know,
cheesecake.
shameless plug, I have no interest in them, but baklava and cheesecake together.
I got to tell you, they have the patent hanging on the wall.
Right.
And it's one of those things that when you eat it, you have to exercise for about 40 hours straight.
It's worth it.
But it is worth it. But we have, you know, restaurants like that. There's a number of different places that we talk about the fact that we leave Glendora to go to dinner, and then other people come to Glendora to have dinner.
But here's what's a little baffling about what you're saying, though. A lot of people will leave because they want to go somewhere that feels destination. But the village feels destination to me because it's walkable. And so can you use that to your advantage?
Oh, definitely.
Right.
One of the things that's happened in the village in the last number of years is we've had an influx of a lot of new restaurants. We have Irene's and Frisella's
Right.
and T. Phillips and Luca Bella, a new Italian restaurant. So there's a number of new restaurants that have opened in the village. There are some restaurants that have been there for a while, like the Village Eatery and the Village Vault. Classic Coffee is a coffee shop that is a destination for a lot of young people. But it is something that we want to be thought of as someplace that somebody wants to go.
So let me ask you, clearly you're an advocate. You should be, you're the mayor. How do you spread this message? You're here, wonderful. We'll put this on YouTube, you'll distribute it. But on a day in and day out basis, how do you, as an advocate for your city, spread the word about the importance of living locally, buying locally?
Well, that's something that we have to get the word out. We have to let people know that, and Glendora wants your business. Right. We want people to come to Glendora and spend their money. We've always talked about...
But more than coming to Glendora, this air statewide, wonderful. But like you said, people who live in Glendora, how do you tell your residents, remind your residents that we're here, stay here?
That's part of what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah, you're here.
You know, we're talking about a lot of different things. We have one of the strongest chamber of commerces in the entire area.
Definitely helps.
Joe Cena, our executive director at the chamber, does an amazing job trying to get the word out. But some of the things that, again, people don't think about when they cross Lone Hill into San Dimas, if they're interested in doing business and they want to do something for the community, it's important to stay on the west side of the street and spend your money in Glendora. And that's a point that not only do I want to talk about how great our restaurants and our retailers are, but I want to talk about there's another advantage. I was talking to a friend of mine this morning and he was going, hey, you have to sell the what's in it for me scenario. That's what people always think about. Well, I'm telling you, that's what we're talking about.
You're doing it.
There is something in it for everybody if you just decide to buy that hamburger at Muya's, which just opened up in Glendora, as opposed to going across the street to someplace else in San Dimas or Azusa.
It's gas also. I mean, that's something I didn't even think about.
No, the average person doesn't.
I didn't. And so that's wise to kind of spread that message.
There's a lot of different things that if people just understood how important it was, I think there's, especially the people of Glendora, they have a lot of pride in their community. We love our city. And so if people understood how important that is, I think people would think about it. Again, a gas station's a gas station. You don't get better quality gas at one place or another, no matter what the commercials tell us. Yeah.
His name is Gary Boyer. He is the mayor of the beautiful city of Glendora, California. My name is Brad Pomerance. I'm so glad you're with us. We're coming to you from the San Gabriel Valley, and you're watching.